Welcome to the World of Urban Shaolin. In today's video, we'll be looking at all the heavyweight boxing champions and their boxing records. Don't forget to like, subscribe and add the bell notification. John L. Sullivan became the first world boxing champion back in August the 29th, 1885. James J. Corbett becomes world boxing champion after defeating John L. Sullivan on September the 7th, 1892. Bob Fitzsimmons was world champion from March the 17th, 1897 to June the 9th, 1899. He was world champion for 814 days. James Jackson Jeffries weighed about 225 pounds and he was pretty fast and could run 91 meters in just over 10 seconds. Marvin Hart was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky, United States. He passed away just after his 55th birthday. Tommy Burns defended his title 13 times against 11 different fighters. He also had a legendary fight with the boxer Jack Johnson. John Arthur Johnson, nicknamed Galveston Giant, was an American boxer. He became the first black heavyweight boxing champion. Jess Willard was pretty tall, standing at 6 foot 6.5 inches tall. He was known more for his height than his boxing skills in the ring. Jack Dempsey was a very explosive and powerful boxer. He was a very popular boxer and he was the first boxer to make over $1 million in ticket sales. Gene Tunney had 7 children. He had a very successful boxing career, and out of his 88 fights, he only had 1 loss to Harry Greb. Max Schmeling was a German boxer. He had 2 notorious fights with Joe Louis. The first one he won in round 12 with a knockout, and the second fight he lost with a TKO in round 1. Jack Sharkey fought Jack Dempsey, and during the fight he turned to complain to the referee about a low blow, and Jack Dempsey knocked him out with a left hook. Primo Carnera was a tall Italian boxer, standing at 6 foot 6 inches tall. He had 103 fights and 89 wins. Not only was Max Baer a boxer, he was also a boxing referee and also appeared in many film and television roles. He held the title for 364 days. James J. Braddock had an iron chin and he was nicknamed Cinderella Man. This was later turned into a movie starring Russell Crowe. Joe Louis was regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time. He defended his title a staggering 25 times and he held the title for 4,270 days. Ezzard Charles fought in 3 different weight categories: middleweight, light heavyweight and heavyweight. He also served in the US military. Jersey Joe Walcott turned professional at the tender age of 16. Once retired, he played small parts in films and TV shows. Rocky Marciano is considered one of the greatest boxers of all time. He's the only heavyweight boxer to retire undefeated. He was undefeated in 49 fights. Floyd Patterson won the gold medal in the 1952 Summer Olympics in the middleweight division. He suffered 2 losses to Muhammad Ali. Ingemar Johansson was born and raised in Sweden. He won a silver medal in the heavyweight boxing category in the 1952 Helsinki Games. Floyd Patterson's second reign as heavyweight champion came on June the 20th, 1960. He got the title back by defeating Ingemar Johansson. Sonny Liston, nicknamed the Big Bear, was a very intimidating boxer. He was 6 foot 1 inches in height and had a reach of 84 inches. Muhammad Ali could be considered the greatest heavyweight boxer that ever lived. He had charm, wit, charisma and excelled in trash talking. Ernie Terrell was one of the tallest boxers of his era. He stood at 6 foot 6 inches. Once retired, he became a record producer in Chicago. Joe Frazier was a pressure fighter and was the first boxer to defeat Muhammad Ali. He won a gold medal in the 1964 Tokyo Games. Jimmy Ellis only had 1 successful title defense, which was against Floyd Patterson. His next fight would be with Joe Frazier, which he lost in the 4th round. George Foreman was a strong and powerful boxer. He's an entrepreneur. He is now known for the George Foreman Grill, which has sold more than 100 million units worldwide. Muhammad Ali's second reign as heavyweight champion began on October the 30th, 1974 by defeating the undefeated George Foreman. Leon Spinks won the heavyweight title on his 8th professional boxing fight. He won the title by defeating Muhammad Ali with a split decision. Ken Norton was awarded the heavyweight title on March the 18th, 1978. Leon Spinks refused to fight him after Norton won his title eliminator bout. Larry Holmes was nicknamed the Eastern Assassin and was on a 48 winning boxing spree. He lost his next fight with a unanimous decision to Michael Spinks. Muhammad Ali's third reign of the heavyweight title came on September the 15th, 1978. He won the title by defeating Leon Spinks. John Tate was only champion for 163 days. During the 80s, he became addicted to cocaine and was convicted of theft and assault charges. Mike Weaver was in the Marines from 1968 to 1971 and ended up going to Vietnam. His nickname was Hercules. Michael Dokes won a silver medal in the Olympic Games in Mexico City, 1975. He had an exhibition match with Muhammad Ali. Jerry Coetzee was a South African boxer. On his 22nd fight, he defeated Leon Spinks in the first round with a TKO. Tim Witherspoon only had 6 amateur fights. His nickname was Terrible. He won his professional debut with a TKO in the first round over Joe Adams. Pinklon Thomas was on a 27 winning spree before he was defeated by Trevor Berbick with a unanimous decision. He lost back-to-back to Tyson and Holyfield. Greg Page only held the title for 149 days. He lost his heavyweight title to Tony Tubbs with a unanimous decision. Tony Tubbs had a very extensive amateur career with 253 bouts, 240 wins and 13 losses. Michael Spinks was champion in 2 weight classes. He held the light heavyweight champion from 1983 to 1985 and heavyweight title from 1985 to 1988. Tim Witherspoon's second reign began on January the 17th, 1986. He defeated Tony Tubbs with a majority decision. Trevor Berbick was a Jamaican boxer and won the title by defeating Pinklon Thomas. He was the last fighter to fight Muhammad Ali and won with a unanimous decision. Iron Mike Tyson could be regarded as one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time. He holds the record for the youngest heavyweight boxer at only 20 years old. James Smith got the title by defeating Tim Witherspoon. He was only champion for 85 days and suffered a loss to Mike Tyson with a unanimous decision. Tony Tucker was a tall boxer standing at 6 foot 5 inches tall. He held the title for the shortest time at just 64 days. He lost with a unanimous decision to Mike Tyson. Francesco Damiani was an Italian boxer. He was on a 27 winning streak until he lost to Ray Mercer with a KO in the 9th round. Buster Douglas became champion on February 11th, 1990. He knocked out Mike Tyson in the 10th round, which could be regarded as the biggest shock in boxing history. Evander Holyfield won a championship in 2 weight classes, cruiserweight and heavyweight. Holyfield would wear his opponents down and had very good counter-punching ability. Ray Mercer started boxing when he was 23 years old while serving in the US military, which was based in West Germany. He won a gold medal in the Seoul 1988 Olympics. Michael Moorer was a southpaw boxer and was undefeated in his first 35 fights. He lost his next fight to George Foreman with a KO in round 10. Riddick Bowe had a very impressive boxing record with only 1 loss, which was to Evander Holyfield. He had 45 fights and 43 wins. Lennox Lewis was ready to fight Riddick Bowe for the heavyweight championship. Riddick Bowe relinquished the title by throwing it in the bin, so the title was awarded to Lennox Lewis. Torry Morrison was a hard explosive puncher. His knockout ratio was pretty high, with 48 wins and 42 by way of knockout. He appeared in Rocky V as Tommy Gunn. Michael Bent only had 13 professional fights and suffered 2 losses, the first to Jerry Jones and the other to Herbie Hyde. He appeared in many films and TV shows. Evander Holyfield's second reign as champion began on November 6, 1993, where he defeated Riddick Bowe with a majority decision. Herbie Hyde was born in Nigeria and moved to the UK at a young age. He had a famous fight with Riddick Bowe where he was knocked down 7 times during the fight. Michael Moorer's second reign as champion began on April 22, 1994. He defeated Evander Holyfield and won with a majority decision. Oliver McCall became champion by defeating Lennox Lewis in a shock second round KO. Lennox Lewis won the rematch, and Oliver McCall ended up having a mental breakdown and ended up crying in the ring. George Foreman's second reign came on November the 5th, 1994, when he knocked out Michael Moorer in the 10th round. He became the oldest heavyweight champion at 45 years old. Riddick Bowe's second reign came on March the 11th, 1995. He defeated Herbie Hyde with a KO in the 6th round. Bruce Seldon becomes champion after Tony Tucker retires in the 7th round. He defended his title once to Joe Hip, but in the next fight he would lose to Mike Tyson with a TKO in the 1st round. Frank Bruno becomes champion after defeating Oliver McCall with a unanimous decision. He would then lose the title in his next fight with Mike Tyson with a TKO in the 3rd round. Mike Tyson's second reign began on March the 16th, 1996. He defended the title once to Bruce Seldon, but then would lose by a TKO in the 11th round to Evander Holyfield. Michael Moorer's third reign began on June the 22nd, 1996. He defeats Alex Schultz with a split decision. Henry Akinwande started boxing at a late age, around 21 years old. He was born in London, England, and had a height of 6 foot 7 inches and a reach of 86 inches. Evander Holyfield's third reign began on November the 9th, 1996. He becomes champion after defeating Mike Tyson, and on a rematch, Mike Tyson is disqualified by biting Evander Holyfield's ear. Lennox Lewis' second reign begins on February the 7th, 1997. He defeats Oliver McCall in the 5th round with a TKO. Herbie Hyde's second reign begins on June the 28th, 1997. He defeats Tony Tucker with a TKO in the 2nd round. Vitaly Klitschko was a Ukrainian boxer. He stood at 6 foot 7 inches and had a reach of 80 inches. His nickname was Dr. Iron Fist. Chris Bird was an American southpaw boxer. Chris Bird becomes champion after defeating Vitaly Klitschko with a retirement in the 9th round. Holyfield's fourth reign as champion began on August the 12th, 2000. He becomes champion by defeating John Ruiz with a unanimous decision. Wladimir Klitschko won a gold medal in the 1996 Atlanta Olympic Games. He becomes champion by defeating Chris Bird with a unanimous decision. John Ruiz was the first Latin American boxer to win a heavyweight title. His nickname was the Quiet Man. Hassan Rahman had a brawl with Lennox Lewis at a press conference where he accused Lennox Lewis of acting gay. He was on a 29 winning spree until he lost to David Chua with a TKO in the 10th round. Lennox Lewis's third reign began on November the 17th, 2001. He becomes champion by defeating Hassan Rahman with a KO in the 4th round. Chris Bird's second reign began on December the 14th, 2002. He becomes champion by defeating Evander Holyfield with a unanimous decision. Roy Jones does the impossible and becomes champion in 4 weight classes. He becomes champion in middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. Corey Sanders was a South African southpaw boxer. He had an extensive amateur career with 180 wins and 11 losses. John Ruiz's second reign as champion began on February the 20th, 2004. He defeats Hassan Rahman with a unanimous decision. Lamont Brewster was on a 23 winning spree until he lost to Clifford Etienne with a unanimous decision. He becomes champion by defeating Wladimir Klitschko with a TKO in the 5th round. Vitaly Klitschko's second reign as champion began on April the 24th, 2004. He becomes champion by defeating Corey Sanders with a TKO in the 8th round. Hassan Rahman's second reign as champion began on November the 9th, 2005. He becomes champion by defeating Monte Barrett with a unanimous decision. Nikolai Valuev was a tall Russian boxer. He stood at 7 foot and had a reach of 84 inches. He had 53 professional fights with just 2 losses on his record, one to Ruslan Chigiv and the other to David Hay. Siai Lajkovic was a Belarusian boxer. He had a vast amount of amateur fights with 145 wins and 15 losses. Wladimir Klitschko's second reign as champion began on April the 22nd, 2006. He becomes champion by defeating Sultan Ibragimov with a unanimous decision. Oleg Maskiv was a Russian boxer with a powerful right hand. He becomes champion by defeating Hassim Rahman with a TKO in the 12th round. Shannon Briggs was an American boxer. He had a very aggressive style with amazing punching power. He won 37 of his fights with a first round knockout. Ruslan Shigev was a southpaw fighter. His nickname was White Tyson. He had a total of 38 professional fights. He announced his retirement for boxing due to an eye injury. Sultan Ibrahimov had 130 fights as an amateur with only 6 losses. He becomes champion by defeating Shannon Briggs with a unanimous decision. Samuel Peter was a Nigerian-born boxer. He had a 78.9% knockout to win ratio. He becomes champion by defeating Oleg Maskiv with a TKO in the 6th round. Nikolai Valuev's second reign began on August 30th, 2008. He becomes champion by defeating John Ruiz with a unanimous decision. Vitaly Klitschko's third reign as champion began on October 11th, 2008. He becomes champion by defeating Samuel Peter, who retired at the end of the 8th round. David Haye was born in London, Bermondsey, in the UK. He becomes champion by defeating Nikolai Valuev with a majority decision. Bermain Stavern started boxing at the age of 19. He becomes champion by defeating Chris Arreola with a TKO in the 6th round. Deontay Wilder is a tall American boxer, standing at 6'7" tall. He had 3 fights with Tyson Fury, 2 he lost and the other one was a draw. Tyson Fury, known as the Gypsy King, stands at 6'9" with a reach of 85 inches. He's only had 1 loss in his career, which was to Alexander Usyk. Charles Martin's reign as heavyweight champion only lasted 85 days. He becomes champion by defeating Vasyslav Glazgov with a TKO in the 3rd round. Anthony Joshua was born in Watford, England, and has a height of 6'6" and a reach of 82 inches. He becomes champion by defeating Charles Martin with a KO in the 2nd round. Joseph Parker is a boxer from New Zealand. He becomes champion by defeating Andy Ruiz with a majority decision. Andy Ruiz becomes the first Mexican-American to win a heavyweight championship. He shocks the nation with a win over Anthony Joshua with a TKO in the 7th round. Anthony Joshua's second reign as champion began on December 7th, 2019. He becomes champion by defeating Andy Ruiz with a unanimous decision. Tyson Fury's second reign as champion began on February 22nd, 2020. He becomes champion by defeating Deontay Wilder with a TKO in the 7th round. Alexander Usyk is a Ukrainian boxer. He becomes champion by defeating Anthony Joshua with a unanimous decision. Alexander Usyk is still currently undefeated. Daniel Dubois is a boxer from London, England. On the 26th of June 2024, Daniel Dubois was elevated to full IBF champion. Well, this brings an end to my video. I really hope you enjoyed the content. If you want to check out some cool skipping tutorials, then please check out my other videos on my channel. Well, thanks for watching. If you like any of the t-shirts I'm wearing, or if you're a big boxing, martial arts, or fitness enthusiast, you would definitely like our t-shirts. Please check the link in the description, which will take you straight to our web store. Well, bye for now, and I hope to see you on the next video.